Hello, good morning, everyone. So, since our lecture for today is being recorded now, we are going to start. So, today's topic is Grammar 3. Before we move on to the first slide of today's presentation, let's talk about how important is grammar for your IELTS. Definitely, most of you got feedback from me and Sir Kevin that you need a little enhancement or improvement on your grammar, on your sentence structure. Am I right? Because in most test takers are struggling in constructing sentences, in constructing error-free sentences, because one of the most common areas of difficulty is verb tenses. Okay? I'd like to remind everyone that verb tenses or grammar is very important in all areas of your IELTS test. In reading, needed for proper understanding of the passage. Okay, some grammatical structures should be interpreted correctly in order for you to provide the correct answers. Okay? Because sometimes if you did not understand the right tense of the given passage, definitely your answers might not be accurate. And in writing, of course, we know exactly how important grammar is in writing because this time you're not going to just drag and drop answers or multiple choice. Wala nang ganun dito sa writing. It's all you. Okay? Ikaw talaga magbibigay ng output sa writing. So definitely, grammar is one thing that you have to consider. It's 25% of your score. So if you feel like grammar is really one of the areas that you're weak at, you need to add more time, invest more effort to enhance your grammar. Thirdly, on speaking. Okay. There are instances wherein in coaching sessions, I intend to change the grammar, the tenses of such questions para malito yung students. Just for me to assess how well you understood the question. Because some questions appear to be something, but they're not really what you think they are. For example, hypothetical questions. When we answer hypothetical questions, we have to use which tense? Present, future, or past? When we say hypothetical questions, these are questions wherein it's a situational scenario na maaaring mangyari in the future or hindi pa nangyari or you're imagining that it will happen. Okay? For example, the question is, what is an ideal family vacation? Or describe an ideal family vacation. A lot of you would assume that the question wants you to talk about a past experience. But the question asks, what is a ideal family vacation? So since there's the word ideal, we can assume that it's a hypothetical question, meaning, hindi mo pa to na-experience, pero ito yung gusto mong ma-experience sa family vacation nyo. Okay? So, the correct answer would be, if in the future I already have the means to take my family on vacation, most probably I would take them to Hong Kong Disneyland. Okay? So meaning in the future, yun yung nakikita mong ideal vacation. So you're going to use the future tense. That's why it's very important for you to be familiar again with the tenses. And of course, in listening, grammar is also very important because listening, as you know, the audio file plays only once. So you have to pay attention to what verb tenses is being used in questions. Okay? But most especially, grammar is important in writing and in reading. Writing and reading. Okay? Speaking kasi, as I mentioned last Wednesday, if you were here, and in my previous lectures, I've been very vocal about how considerate test examiners are when it comes to grammar. Hindi sila ganun mas strict sa speaking. But when it comes to writing and reading, you'll be needing grammar a lot. Your knowledge needs to be refreshed. So how many grammar tenses do we have? So most of you would just remember the three major categories, which is present tense, past tense, and future tense. But actually, each category also has 4 subcategories, which means there's a total of 12 verb tenses. So medyo madugo yung topic natin today. Hopefully, ma-cover natin yung 65 pages or 65 slides. Okay. Pero sige, don't overthink it. Kaya yan. Basta let's discuss each one intricately. And I need you to take out your pens and notebooks. Do you have pen and pencils? Pencils? If you feel like it, but I can provide paper if you want. Because I want to be able to check your sentences today. Do you need paper? Nicole, do you need paper? Pen. Pen, kailangan mo ng pen. I only brought 2 pieces of paper. Hang on. Pen. It doesn't really matter. I think it would benefit the class. Just kidding. Could you please close the door? Joke lang. You don't need to update me, guys, about your attendance. Hindi naman tayo elementary or high school. When, natatawa ko sa mga nag-BPM na Shannon, I can't attend. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Well, I mean, it's your call. You can always watch replay videos. Si Delphine ba yung tinutukoy mo? Yeah, his name is Delphine. Napaka makabago ng kanyang pangalan. No? Ay, andito pala siya! Hi! Narinig mo lahat ng sinabi ko? Hopefully, narinig mo.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, walang maingay today.
Miss na miss. Miss na miss niyo ako.
Ay, wow! I-mute na kita. Very peaceful ang lecture today since wala ka dito. Thank God. All right, so finally, I discussed to you the importance of grammar, and I hope you understood it well. Okay, so we will be practicing making sentences today. All right. Niner English has a total of 9 grammar lectures. The 9th grammar lecture is the most common lecture that we've been covering for the past few months. And as you know, that is grammar for IELTS, which is a lesson or a lecture which has accumulated key areas of what are the common mistakes and areas of difficulty of test takers. Kaya yun yung lagi naming nile-lecture. Parang summarization na siya ng lahat ng 8 grammar lectures natin here at Niner English. However, today we're going to pay attention to grammar, which is grammar 3, verb tenses. Why? Because we have noticed that a lot of you are struggling when it comes to the use of verb tenses. So for you to have a little refresher, kasi alam ko naman, we studied about this in elementary and in high school. Kung hindi ka naman English major, I don't think you studied about this in college, but yeah, this will serve as your refresher lesson. You already have knowledge about verb tenses. We're just gonna review them. Okay? So we're gonna start with simple present tense. From the name itself, it's very simple to understand. Okay? You need a verb simple form with S or ES in third person. Okay. Example sentences is, you speak English. I want you to remember, when you use the verb do and does, simple tense lang ang verb all the time. Okay? Meaning, speak. Yun na yung simplest form ng verb. Do you speak English? Never mo pwedeng gawin, do you speaking English? Yan yung laging ginagawa ng mga nagpapa-coaching. Ilalagyan nila ng ing, hindi nga siya infinitive form. Simple present form lang. Whenever you use the verbs do or does, always remember that the verb tense should be in simple present tense. Got it? For example, does she speak English? Doesn't. Pwede rin negative form. Don't, doesn't. Don't you speak English? Doesn't he speak English? Wala kang papalitan sa verb. As is lang siya. Understood? So let's try. Write a sentence using do or does, don't or doesn't, and gamitan mo ng simple present form. Please write it down. Sa mga Zoom Zoom participants, if nahihiya kayong i-expose yung mga mali-mali yung grammar, i-private message niyo na lang ako dito sa sa chat. May option naman kasi na direct message. And if proud ka naman sa mga sagot mo, then go ahead. Send it here. I would really appreciate it if you guys would, participate. Naka-on pa pala yung video. My gosh. Okay, I'm just giving you 1 minute per task. That's too long, actually. Kahit gamitin nyo yung do, does, don't, doesn't, it's okay. I will check everything at the end of the class. Don't worry. But I hope you all participate because gusto ko may application agad para naaalala yung mga natuturo. Okay? All right. There are some indications that the right use of verb tense is simple present tense. So we will talk about them one by one. Use number 1. Hi, good morning. Please take out a piece of paper which I think you don't have, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna get you one. Okay, let's continue. Sana wala nang dumating na manghihingi ng papel, no? Just kidding. Okay, so we have the first use is repeated actions. Okay, I want you to read it silently as I read it aloud. Use the simple present to express the idea that an action is repeated or usual. The action can be a habit, a hobby, a daily event, a scheduled event, or something that often happens. It can also be something a person often forgets or usually does not do. You just have to remember that in the simple present tense, it has to be a usual activity. Okay? For example, I play tennis. It doesn't literally mean that you're playing tennis at this very moment. It just means that you have enrolled in a tennis academy or tennis sessions with your coach. Kasi pwede yun eh. And kasalukuyan na nagte-tennis ka. May it be weekly, may it be daily, you play tennis and you have not stopped doing so. It's part of your daily, it's part of your routine. Okay? Pwede namang monthly ka lang naglalaro ng tennis, but as long as you're still playing tennis and you have not quit, it means it's a simple form. Simple present. Okay? Same goes with the opposite or the negative, which is she does not play tennis. Meaning, yung huling laro niya ng tennis was December 2024. Ever since then, hindi na siya ulit naglaro. So it's a usual thing na hindi na siya ulit bumalik sa pagte-tennis. Okay? By the way, tennis is a very good exercise. Kasi after yung maglaro, papupulitin ka ni coach ng mga nahulog na po. Alright, so my friend plays tennis and I have a student who's a pro player. Ano siya? He's only 12 years old. He's a Korean student. And then last week he sent me the link of his winning game because he joined a tournament in South Korea. Iyayabang niya sa akin, Ma'am, ay, hindi pala bang tawag niya. Teacher Shannon, look, I won. Ang galing. Ang daming ang views ng video niya sa YouTube eh. So anyways, having that said, does he play tennis? Again, an indicator that it's in the simple present tense when you have the verbs do, does, don't, doesn't. All right? The train leaves every morning at 8 a.m. Simple present tense kasi continually, ito yung schedule ng train. Okay? Malate ka man, darating yung train ng 8 a.m. Sa Pilipinas, hindi masyado kasi laging late ang mga bagay-bagay sa Pilipinas. However, if you go to other countries like Japan, South Korea, Singapore, they're very strict with time. And the train will come at 8 a.m. And if you didn't catch it, then you have to catch the 8:30 a.m. train. Okay? The train does not leave at 9 a.m. This is also a negative form, but it also means that it never leaves at 9 a.m. Probably the schedule was at 8:30, but not 9 a.m. Or 9:30, 9:15, basta hindi 9 a.m. When yung question form naman, when does the train usually leave? Again, there are a lot of indications that this is in simple present tense because we have the word does, right? We have that verb. Automatically, okay, this is in simple present tense. And then we also have the word usually, which means it's a routine, it's a habit. It happens, okay? Normally, usually, repeatedly in a specific schedule. All right, we have another example, and it says here, she always forgets her purse. As you can see, we have the word always. Ibig sabihin kung sino man tong she, medyo meron siyang pagkakabisote, right? She always forgets her purse daw no? Medyo red flag yata to. Laging nakakaiwan ng wallet. Mars, ikaw muna. Naiwan ko yung wallet ko. May mga ganyan ba kayong mga kaibigan? Buong pera ko ikaw muna. I'm just kidding. Well, sometimes it happens, right? So may mga nag-chat. Ano sabi dito? Nagbigay ng example si Delphin. Do you remember him? Yeah, of course. How can you forget him? Does anyone miss me? Sabi niya. Wow! Una sa lahat, there's a capitalization error on your sentence. Please fix it. Okay, next we have every 12 months, the Earth circles the sun. That's why we have what you call New Year. It's a celebration that the year has ended and a new one has begun, right? Because every 12 months, it's one orbit. Tama ba orbit yun? I'm not good with science, but I think it's an orbit around the sun, isn't it? Does the sun circle in the earth? Does it happen? So the earth revolves, tapos rotates. Pag siya lang, rotates. Tapos pag revolve, umiikot siya sa sun, di ba? But does the sun, alam ko kasi yung sun, hindi siya gumagalaw. Gumagalaw ba yun? Yeah, planets are the ones na umiikot. Ayan, ba't naging science class to? Ayoko, hindi ako magaling doon. Wag na. Masisira pa yung image ko ngayon. Okay na eh. All right, so remember, you use the simple present tense when actions are being repeated. If it's a habit, if it's a hobby. Okay, let's make an example. What are your hobbies? What are your habits? Pag tinanong ka, what is your favorite hobby? Ibig sabihin, ginagawa mo yun sa kasalukuyan. Okay, you have not quit doing it. Okay? My hobby is doing TikTok videos. Ah, nice. All right. I do TikTok videos. Or I love to travel. I love traveling. Or hindi siya naka-simple present tense. My favorite hobby or my current hobby is I travel. Yeah, I travel. Just the word travel, naka-simple present siya. Okay? Use number 2, we have generalized information or facts. Okay. Pag sinabi natin generalizations or facts, ibig sabihin nito, kung ano yung alam ng karamihan, yun yung simple present tense. Okay? For example, cats like milk. All right? We all know that if you serve milk to a cat, it would probably drink it. But what if your cat doesn't like milk? Still, we don't care about your cat anymore. We're paying attention to the fact that most cats like milk. That's why we use the verb like in simple present form. Okay? Next, California is in America. Is it a fact? Yes. That's why we use the verb is. California is in America. California is not in the United Kingdom. This is an example of a negative sentence, but still it's in simple present form because it's a constant. It's a fact that California is not located in United Kingdom. Windows are made of glass. But as you can see, that particular window is not made of glass. It's made of wood and capis. Do you call that capis? Yeah. Yung white na part, na small squares. Medyo ganun yung mga bintana kasi nung lumang panahon, since in the Philippines, we need airy houses, you know? Kasi mainit. But definitely, it's a fact that most windows are made from glass, right? That's why the example sentence, windows are made of glass, is in simple past. Of course, you're going to change your verbs depending on your subject. Kapag the window is made of glass, syempre, it's simple present tense, but it's also singular. Kasi nga isang window lang. But since we use the word windows, we use the simple present tense are. Kasi nga windows, marami. New York is a small city, or it is not important that this fact is untrue. Okay. So New York, as we know, it's not really a small city. It's a big one. But if yun yung pinaniniwalaan mo, if it's a generalization for some people, then maybe yes. Maaring that person said that the person that said that New York is a small city comes from a very large city. Yeah, for them, they consider it small. Okay? Use number 3, we have scheduled events in the near future. Okay, so speakers occasionally use simple present to talk about scheduled events in the near future. This is most commonly done when talking about public transportation, but it can be used with other scheduled events as well. Okay, so we will definitely use the simple present tense when we're talking about scheduled events in the near future. Kagaya ng example na binigay ko kanina, the train leaves at 8 a.m. So, dito sa example na to, the train leaves tonight at 6 p.m. So, it will happen later today, but it will definitely happen. That's why you will use the simple present tense. Okay, I want you to try to make a sentence using facts or generalizations. Dogs bark loudly. The word bark is the verb. And of course, it's used in simple present because it's a generalization that dogs bark loudly. So try to think of a fact or a generalization that you could use the simple present tense. Sige, go. Write a sample sentence, please. as simple as sentences such as birds fly in the sky, dogs are man's best friend. General facts yun. Okay? So think of any general fact that you could use in a sentence. You could use the simple present in a sentence. And then I want you to also write another sample sentence for use number 3. Scheduled events in the near future. For example, tomorrow's lecture is at 9:30 a.m. Kasi si Sir Kevin yung coach. Okay? So tomorrow's lecture is at 9:30 a.m. It will happen in the future, right? It's gonna happen tomorrow. But I use the simple present tense, which is if. Tomorrow's lecture is at 9:30 a.m. Ano ba yung mga future events na pwede mong gamitan ng simple present tense? Scheduled events in the near future. Church starts at 7 a.m. You can also make interrogative sentences. When does the lecture begin tomorrow? Okay. So you're officially writing 2 sentences. I think by the end of the class, sa ngayon nakatatlong sentences na tayo, guys. Okay. But if you want to add more, do you have paper? Oh, you're using your phone. Okay. Sige. So please don't lose count. Pangatlong sentence na yan. All right, so let's discuss use number 4. The simple present tense is also used when you're using not continuous verbs, meaning actions that are happening right now or currently. Speakers sometimes use the simple present to express the idea that an action is happening or is not happening now. This can only be done with non-continuous verbs and certain mixed verbs. So let's read the examples. I am here now. She is not here now. So please observe the verbs that are used. Am, simple past. Is not, simple past. He needs help right now. Hindi porket nagkaroon ng S na bago na yung tense, ha? In-adjust lang natin sa subject, which is he. So since the subject is he, it's singular, we need to also use the singular form of the verb, which is needs. He needs help right now. He does not need help now. Ginawa lang natin negative yung sentence. He has his passport in his hand. Di mo naman kailangan laging may now yung sentence mo para masabing non-continuous verb. Okay? Kagaya ng example na to. He has his passport in his hand. Do you have your passport with you? Yung tipong sa Manila yun. Sa NAIA yung flight mo tapos nagtubig-garaw ka na iwan mo yung passport. Gosh, what are you gonna do? It's a sign that you should not leave. Okay, now our 4th sentence is an example of a simple present sentence with a non-continuous verb. Gamitin nyo yung mga sample na to so that you can make a sentence. But you have to be writing your 4th sentence right now. Okay? I will really check it later, guys. Kaya magsulat kayo. Doesn't matter if you got reference from the slides. What matters is I want you to activate your thinking skills so that there's retention. You know, when you learn something and you apply it, there's retention. Kasi kung mamaya ko pa ipapa-homework sa inyo yan, definitely, you're gonna get so confused. Ano ba yan? Kahit wala siya dito kung ano-anong example yung binibigay niya. Gusto niyo basahin ko? Parang nakakaaliw. Yeah. Sabi niya gano'n. Delphine is my real name, but you can also call me mine. What the heck? I-kick out na kita. I-kick out kita sa sa Zoom meeting ngayon, ah. Just kidding. Sino daw pinaparinggan mo dito, Delphine? Drop the name now. Just kidding. No, don't drop it. Okay. So use number. Oh, no. We only have 4 uses for the simple present tense. Okay, so a quick recap before we move on to the next. We use the simple present tense when it's repeated actions, meaning habits, hobbies, daily events, scheduled events. We also use the simple present when we're talking about facts or generalizations, yung mga katotohanan na alam ng lahat. Joe Goldberg is a serial killer. Have you watched that? I'm obsessed with that series. So if you guys want to get accustomed with American accent and British accent, you should watch the U series. It's on Netflix, and they've already uploaded all the 5 series. Ayoko nga sana may 6 pa. Kasi, ang ganda kaya ng 5. I was not satisfied with 4, pero backstory lang pala siya para gets natin yung 5, right? Because season 4 appeared to be quite boring, but then it's relevant and it's useful kasi binuo niya yung story ng season 5. Okay. So, assignment, panoorin yung Netflix series na You para nakaka-relate kayo. Okay, and then we have simple present tense when we're talking about scheduled events in the near future. And when we're using it with a non-continuous verb. Meaning, you're describing something that's happening at the very moment. Okay. So, now we're going to talk about the present continuous form. Madali lang naman alalahanin eh. When we say continuous, the action is continually happening. Okay? So, you're going to use be verbs am, is, or are. Of course, depending on the subject. If you're using the subject I, of course, you're going to be am. I am lecturing you. I am discussing grammar 3 right now. Okay? I am discussing grammar 3 to my IELTS students. Ganyan. Is when you're using singular subjects. He is, she is, it is, Nicole is, Leanne is, all right? And are when you're using plural subjects such as the boys are, women are, always right. Just kidding. Hindi yun yung present continuous tense, pero it's a generalization. Just kidding. Okay, so yung mga dito baka sabihin nyo, Feminist ako. You are watching TV. Are you watching TV? You are not watching TV. So you have to remember, you're going to use a be verb and the present participle tense, which means it has an ing. That's simple. So, use number 1. Use the present continuous with normal verbs to express the idea that something is happening now, at this very moment. It can also be used to show that something is not happening now, okay? So again, let me remind you, positive, negative situations, you can still use the present continuous tense. Okay, let's read the examples one by one. You are learning English now. True, right? As of the very moment, you are learning English. You are not swimming now. Are you sleeping? May mga nakikita akong inaantok yan sa likod. Huwag kayong aantok-antok. Wala kayong excuse para antokin. Why? Ako nga, 3 hours lang tulog ko eh. Tapos kayo na nakabuo ng 6 hours, inaantok kayo. I couldn't sleep last night. I had anxieties. It's called a separation anxiety because my nephew went back to Dubai and he's actually my favorite nephew as of the moment. Because he's the newest baby eh. Yung ganun naman pag baby, parang favorite. Because I took care of him when he was like 3 to 5 months. So, you know, it's kind of special when you take care of someone close to you. Okay, so anyways, I am sitting. I am not standing. Is he sitting or standing? Kung gusto niyo gumawa ng question. Now, I'm challenging you to write a question using the present continuous tense. Ang pagkakaiba sa simple present, may ing yung verb. Okay? So, gawa kayo ng question. Hindi na declarative sentence ha. By the way, declarative sentence is yung statement lang. It ends with a period. Interrogative sentence, yun yung question. It ends with a question mark. So I want you to write a question or an interrogative sentence using the present continuous tense. Are you guys dating? No, we're just friends. Again. What else? What are you doing? What are they doing? Basta kailangan may be verb, am, is, are, tapos yung verb has an ing. Okay? Okay. So we have use number 2. Use number 2 of the present continuous verb is longer actions in progress now. It simply means you are doing a specific activity or you're undergoing a program, a course, or an activity. Maaring hindi mo siya ginagawa at this very moment, but it's happening. It's continually happening. It has not ended. Okay? So, in English, now can mean this second, today, this month, this year. So, pag sinabi natin now, it doesn't only pertain to actions that are happening at this very moment. It pertains to actions that are continually progressing. Hanggang hindi ka pa natatapos sa isang activity, it's ongoing. All right? Right now, what your current situation is, I am studying IELTS. That's the present continuous tense. Kasi hindi ka pa nag-e-exam. At hindi mo pa nakukuha yung band score na desired mo. At hanggang hindi mo pa nakukuha yung desired band score mo, you will continually be studying IELTS. Whether you like it or not. Because there's no giving up here, okay? Marami kaming students na dadaan lang, magbabayad lang ng tuition fee, tapos hindi na mapapakita, kasi biglang nagbago yung isip. So hopefully, hindi kayo ganun, okay? You got yourself into this, finish strong. Okay? So I'm hoping all of you makapasa. Let's claim it. Hello, Canada. Tama ko, guys. Just kidding. All right, so there. Let's look at the examples. By the way, are you all following? No questions? If you do have questions, raise your hands. Let me know. Let's clarify things. Maganda yung kinaklaro yung mga bagay-bagay. Mahirap yung malabo. Okay, parang medyo hugot na yun ah. Okay, I'm just trying to make it a little lighter kasi feeling ko yung mood right now. Ang seryoso nyo. Ilang sentence pa, ma'am? Alright, so we have here, I am studying to become a doctor. Wow, sana all. Okay. Meaning, tapos na siya ng pre-med course. Kasi studying to become a doctor na daw eh. Or baka din, that student is currently taking a pre-med course at ang career path niya is to become a doctor. Pwedeng ganun, okay? It just means na hindi pa siya nakaka-graduate. It just means hindi pa siya nakaka-take ng board exam at hindi pa siya licensed doctor. Because you can't call yourself a doctor unless you're already licensed. Right? So I am studying to become a doctor. This is the present continuous tense. Hindi ibig sabihin nung nag-aaral ako ngayon, nagre-review ako ngayon, it doesn't literally mean that. It just means that you're still in the program, you're still in college, and you have not graduated yet. Or you have not gotten your license yet. Sino dito gusto maging doktor? O yung mga nagte-take ng nursing dyan? Or any... Pero yung mga iba, halimbawa nakatake na sila ng 4-year bachelor degree, minsan, binabago pa nila yung path nila and they take another course. It's okay because, don't settle. If you feel like yung current situation mo, hindi ito yung na-visualize mo in the future, kasi maaaring in the middle of your 20s or in the middle of your 30s, you discover a new passion. Okay? The good thing is you don't give up on yourself. You keep discovering, you keep improving, upgrading yourself. Because I feel like living life to your maximum potential, that's the goal, right? And since all of you are here today, you're taking up IELTS, I'm definitely seeing a really bright future for all of you. Okay? So, I am reading the book Tom Sawyer. It simply means that I have not finished until the last page. Maaring huminto muna ako kasi busy ako this week. But it doesn't mean it's still present continuous. Okay? It's a progress. So, maybe matapos ko siya next month. Or sa December pa. But still, I am reading the book Tom Sawyer, meaning I am not going to give up on it. I'm going to finish it until the last page. Okay, I want you to write a sample sentence using longer actions in progress now. You can describe your current situation. I am applying for a job in Canada. I am applying for a student visa bound to Australia. Okay? What time is it? At exactly 10:30, I'm gonna give you guys a 5 to 10 minute break. O ano na nangyari? Ba't wala nang nagbibigay ng sample sentences dito sa Zoom? Na-intimidate na sila kasi binabasa ko sa lahat eh. Hopefully, you're done with sentence number 5. Tama ba? Sentence number 5 na yan? Ay, 6 na pala. Sorry, I lost count. So that's sentence number 6. So at the end of the lecture, I'm gonna check how many sentences those are. So I want you to remember that the present continuous tense is also used when you're describing something that will also happen in the near future. Okay? It indicates that something will or will not happen in the near future. I am meeting some friends after work. So, iba yun sa I am in a meeting right now. Okay? I am in a meeting right now. Ibig sabihin nun, ngayon, nasa meeting ako. But in this example, I am meeting my friends after work, or I have a scheduled meeting. I am meeting my colleagues after this lecture. So that's present continuous because it also describes something that will happen in the near future. So pwede rin namang negative form. I am not going to the party tonight. You just have to use a time expression. So for use 3, which is near future, I want you to make a sentence using present continuous plus a time expression. I am meeting. Is he visiting his parents next weekend? Mapapansin nyo lahat ng sentence by time expression. Ma'am, ano ba yung time expression? Yan yung after work, tonight, tomorrow, this evening. Okay? Those are the time expressions. Another example is I am having pizza later today. Okay, I am having pizza later today. I am, be verb, am, having. Present continuous, later today is the time expression. So yun yung tatlong combo na hahanapin ko sa sentence number 7. Be verb, verb plus ing, and of course, the time expression. Okay. Now let's discuss use number 4. So the present continues with words such as always, constantly. They express the idea that something irritating or shocking often happens. So repetition and irritation with always. Notice that the meaning is like simple present but with negative emotion. Remember to put the words always or constantly between be and verb plus ing. So nakapagitna siya. If you see the position of the word always or constantly, it's in between the be verb. Yan yung be verb, guys, ah. And then verb plus ing. Okay? So the example is she is always coming to class late. It expresses irritation. Lagi na lang siyang late. Alright? Sir Kevin is always starting late. Siya talaga yung ginawang example. Last day ko na talaga to, guys, dito. I'm just kidding. All right. He is constantly talking. I wish he would shut up. Grabe, no? Emphasis sa shut up. Diba? He is constantly talking. Again, we have the be verb and, of course, the word constantly, meaning lagi na lang. Okay? I don't like them because they are always complaining. So the pronoun is they, kaya ginamitan natin siya ng are. As you can see, the word always and verb plus ing. Everything clear? Okay, this is your 8th sentence. Make a sentence using the present continuous with the words either always or constantly. It depends on you. But please make a sample sentence. Ayaw maklear ng drawing. Oh no. Zoom is not. Hindi ko na ma-delete. Okay, is it clear? Another example I can give is Niner English Cabanatuan branch is always opening on time. Diba? Ginamitan ko siya ng be verb na is always opening. Opening on time. How about the word constantly? I am constantly thinking of you. Wow. Di ba parang napaka-romantic naman na pag sinabihan ka, I am constantly thinking of you. Sige, mga kinilig dyan. Okay. All right. Hope you wrote your sentence because we will be moving on to the present perfect form or tense. Okay, so present perfect form, you have to remember that you should use the verbs has or have, depending on the number of your subject. And of course, you're going to use the past participle. However, hindi lahat ng verbs may past participle kasi mayroon tayong tinatawag na regular and irregular verbs. Na kahit past participle, hindi nagbabago yung spelling. Okay? Kasi in grammar, in English rules, there's always an exemption. Pero isa sa mga examples ng past participle is the word seen, eaten, broken, shaken. Okay? So, meron din namang past participles na hindi nagbabago, like cut, put. Yan, okay? And the list goes on. So, let's take a look at the example sentence. We have, you have seen that movie many times. Have you seen that movie many times? You have not seen that movie many times. Okay. So definitely, we have use number one. But before I move on to that, let's read the messages here. They are listening even though they feel sleepy. Medyo araya. Sleepy ba kayo, guys? Okay. They are listening even though they feel sleepy. Yes, that's a good one. Pero dapat feel, hindi felt. Tapos, she is always in my mind. She is always running in my mind. Kasi remember, your verb should have an ing. Okay? She is always running in my mind. Okay. So, for the present perfect tense, use number one is unspecified time before now. Okay? It simply means that we use the present perfect to say that an action happened at an unspecified time before now. Meaning, walang specific na oras na nabanggit. Okay? That's when you use the present perfect tense. You cannot use the present perfect with specific time. Emphasis on the word cannot use. The present perfect with specific time expressions such as yesterday, 1 year ago, last week, when I was a child, when I lived in Japan, at that moment, that day, one day. But we can use the present perfect with unspecific expressions. What are examples of unspecific expressions? Ever. I have never ever met him. Never, once, many times, several times, before, so far, already, yet. Yan yung mga expressions na may unspecific timeline. So that's when you use the present perfect tense. Is it clear? Let's take a look at the sample sentences. I know they appear a bit small, but don't worry. Handouts will be provided at the end of the lecture. Soft copy. Let me clarify that. Mamaya hanapan niyo ako ng hard copy eh. Okay, so I have seen that movie 20 times. Walang specific time to. Basta sinabi niya 20 times na niyang napanood. Hindi naka-indicate kung kailan. That's why this is an example, a good example of the present perfect tense. Another one is, I think I have met him once before. So as you can see, the word before, it falls under unspecific expressions, right? Ayun talaga ni pumantay. Never mind. So, ayun na nga. Next, we have, there have been many earthquakes in California. Kahit walang nakasulat na unspecific expressions, but the sentence is implying the fact na nagkaroon ng earthquake sa California, pero wala namang nilagay na specific time. Alright? Basta, the sentence says that there have been earthquakes, many earthquakes in California. So, pasok pa rin kasi we have the word many earthquakes, but not a specific date. People have traveled to the moon. Yes, that's right. Many times already. People have not traveled to Mars. Di pa yata nakaka-landing. Naka-landing na ba ang isang spacecraft sa Mars? Not yet. There's no sign of life pa eh. So, why would... May movie pala, The Martian, right? Have you seen that? It's a really good one. No, it's not Leonardo. It's another guy. But he's also a really good action star. So, by the way, bigla ko naalala, when you watch a movie, like you watch the movie at home, on TV, or on a device like a computer, you use the word watch. Kasi baka malito kayo, scene? Kasi sabi ko kanina, have you seen the movie? Have you watched the movie? Huwag kayong malito because when we use the word scene, it pertains to a live show. Pwede mong sabihin, I've seen the movie. Despicable Me. Meaning, nanood ka sa sinehan. Okay? I've seen the show in a theater. You watched it live. But if you just watched it from a device at home, that's when you use the word watch. Okay? Ang complicated ng English, no? Yan talaga. Have you read the book yet? Nobody has ever climbed that mountain. So we have the word ever. It's an unspecific expression. Yet, ever, ulit dito, has there ever been a war in the United States? Yes, there has been a war in the United States. Okay, yes, please write an expression right now or a sentence with this similar examples to this, okay? Okay. Are you done with your sentences? That's great. Now let's talk about experiences. You can use the present perfect to describe your experience. It is like saying, I have the experience of. You can also use this tense to say that you have never had a certain experience. The present perfect is not used to describe a specific event. Okay? So let's take a look at the given examples. I have been to France. It's an experience, okay? I have been to France. And as you can see, this sentence means that you have had the experience of being in France. Maybe you have been there once or several times. Again, it does not have a specific time or date. Same goes with the example, I have been to France 3 times. I have never been to France. I think I have seen that movie before. He has never traveled by train. Joanne has studied 2 foreign languages. Have you ever met him? One common denominator among all these sentences is that there is no specific time, there is no specific date. Okay? So that's an indication that this is the present perfect tense. So kayo, i-describe nyo yung mga experiences nyo. Which places have you visited here in the Philippines? Boracay, wow. Let's make a complete sentence. I have. Okay, that's perfect. I have been to Boracay once. Okay? Pasok ba yung word na once? Yes, pasok siya. Because, hindi mo naman sinabi kung kailan ka nag-Boracay, right? Sino dito na pag-Boracay na din? I don't know kung ano na yung mga pagbabago kasi 10 years ago pa yun. But definitely, it's a paradise. Pero sana, ang gawin ng tourism sa Philippines is hindi lang yung facade ang pagandahin. Kasi di ba boys, yung likod ng Boracay, ganun pa rin, hello Philippines pa rin to, ganun. But when you step onto the beach, dun mo makikita yung totoong ganda ng Boracay. It really is. Hindi exaggerated yung mga tao pag sinabi nilang maganda sa Boracay. It's really beautiful. But then again, that was 10 years ago. I don't really know what's going on there right now. But if you want serene, zen, and not very crowded area, Station 1. If you want parties, if you like going to parties, discos, and stuff like that, nightlife, Station 2 and 3, something like that. Pero ano lang naman yun, isang buong stretch lang naman siya. But then, you need to walk a long stretch before you get to 2 and 3. Kailan po ba kayo nagpunta? What year? Ha?
5 days bago po sa
Ha?
5 days po bago po sa Sarah. Yung natin nila yung Boracay.
5 years bago isa na?
5 days po.
5 days daw mga before.
Before the renovation. Bakit kasi di mo na sabihin ko anong year? You're complicating it, You're stressing me out. Okay, anong year yan? Anong year? Yung kay Duterte yun, di ba? Kasi nagkaroon ng, anong tawag doon? High rehabilitation ang Boracay, yeah. So I wonder, ano kaya itsura niya ngayon since na-rehab na siya?
Sabi lang po, maganda.
Akala ko magchichika na siya ng experience niya doon. But there's one place that I haven't been in the Philippines that I've always wanted to go to. It's El Nido, Palawan. I feel like yun talaga yung totoong paradise. Nakapunta ka na, El Nido. So, I know naman kasi that the land travel from Puerto Princesa Airport to El Nido is 5 hours. Hindi mo yun hassle? Ha? Wag land travel. So, Roro takes how many hours? Really?
Ay, ano pala? Ano pala? Ano, so pinabiyaan na magkano 6 para 6. Pinabiyaan ko namin dito para ko.
Ha? 6 hours? Land travel 5 hours lang eh.
Tagal po kasi matagal pa magalang biyahe.
So bakit? Isa pa tong, kayong dalawa magkatabi kayo, magulo kayo kausap, ano?
Kaya maganda kasi ang para makita yung mga signals.
Eh, ayoko! Kasi 5 hours nasa boat ka, and then more likely you have chances to die, right? Kahit na. May sharks doon. Charis. Hindi ko alam. I know how to swim. In-underestimate mo naman ako. Okay, but yeah, El Nido, they say that it's really paradise there. And lots of tourists go there, right? But ang dami palang underrated beaches in the Philippines. Grabe. Have you heard of Masbate? Have you heard of Masbate? Sober. Sobrang underrated niya. Pero sobrang ganda niya. I can actually describe the beach. Hindi kasing pino ng Boracay, kasi iba talaga yung pagkapino ng sand sa Boracay. But, in Masbate, hindi siya commercialized. As in, if you appreciate the beauty of natural resources na hindi talaga na commercialize, go for Masbate. Yun din. After land travel, you're gonna ride a boat to get to the main island, but then it's worth every hour or every minute of your travel time. Kasi nag-land travel kami, I think it took 12 hours. Nung mga panahon matyaga pa ako sa land travel. Ngayon hindi na eh. But, beautiful destinations are worth the journey. Just like IELTS, it's worth the journey. Kung makakapag-selfie ka naman sa snow, di ba? Alright. So, let's continue. Ay, sabi ko magbibigay ako ng short break. O sige. I'm gonna give a 5 to 10 minute break right now. So, sa mga nasa Zoom, get something, tayo-tayo din, galaw-galaw. Alright? Alright, so again, I hope you have written a sentence for this particular lesson, which is present perfect tense describing your experience or experiences. Now we will move on to topic 2, which is change over time. We often use the present perfect to list the accomplishments. Sorry. We often use the present perfect to talk about change that has happened over a period of time. So, for example, you have grown since the last time I saw you. So, most probably, your nephew or your niece is now 10 years old. The last time that you saw him or her was when your niece, let's say your niece, was 5 years old. So obviously, that 5-year difference, your niece has grown since the last time you saw her. Okay? The government has become more interested in arts education. So again, we're still using the present perfect tense. And one way to indicate that it's a present perfect tense when you're using has or have and the past participle. Okay. Another example is Japanese has become one of the most popular courses at the university since the Asian Studies program was established. So, maaring in the past, Japanese was not yet one of the most popular courses. But because the Asian Studies program was established, Japanese, or the language in Japan, has become one of the most popular courses. I heard many Filipinos are actually learning Nihongo. Nihongo is their language, right? Because they want to work in Japan. And most of the, di naman lahat, pero ang in-demand kasi doon is factory workers, English teachers, and of course, alam naman nating lahat, when we say Japan, entertainers. Pero medyo naiba na yung culture. Hindi na ganun katalamak yung ganung work. Marami na din ngayong mga English teachers na nag-a-apply in Japan. However, one of the videos that I watched online, nagkakaroon daw ng major earthquake, like really big earthquake in Japan. I think this year. Yung isa sa mga predictions. Well, alam naman natin that Japan has a fault line, diba? But then again, risk and danger is everywhere, so doesn't matter where you are, which part of Earth. Okay, so do we understand how to use the present perfect when we're talking about change that happened over a period of time? Try to make a sentence using this. My English has really improved since I moved to Australia. Or probably you can say, my English skills has really enhanced since I started coaching with Ma'am Shannon. Ganun. Parang natutuwa naman ako sa mga examples yun. Okay? Another situation could be, they have learned to be resilient ever since they started to have their own jobs. They have learned to be resilient ever since they started to have their own jobs. Or a person, oh no, my cousin has become more financially stable when he experienced rock bottom. Yan talaga. Sometimes we need humbling experiences in life so that we can learn from them and apply some self-improvements, of course. Okay, so that's how you use the present perfect when you're describing changes over time. Now let's talk about accomplishments. We often use the present perfect to talk about change that has happened over a period of time. Teka, hindi ko pala na-switch yung slide. We often use the present perfect to list the accomplishments of individuals and humanity. You cannot mention a specific time. Again, when using the present perfect, no need to mention a specific time. Accomplishments such as, a man has walked on the moon. Man has walked on the moon. Our son has learned how to read. Doctors have cured many deadly diseases. Scientists have split the atom. Okay, so ano ba yung mga accomplishments nyo? Isipin nyo. I have graduated university. I have studied IELTS. I have passed my IELTS exam. Okay? Accomplishment yun. Sige, parang naman meron kayong words of affirmation for yourselves. Write a sentence stating one of your accomplishments. Parang naman meron tayong konting boost, di ba? Kasi minsan, alam niyo yun, nakafocus tayo sa mga negativity. So, try to think of the accomplishments that you've had in the past. Using the present perfect tense. You can also use the present perfect tense when you're talking about an uncompleted action you are expecting. So, hindi pa daw natatapos yung isang action, but you're expecting it to happen. Alright? It suggests that we are still waiting for the action to happen. Ibig sabihin, you're anticipating it, you're expecting it, you're looking forward to it. Okay? Given examples are, James has not finished his homework yet. Okay? Obviously, we have has not finished, and we also have the word yet, which means it's an uncompleted action, but of course, sooner or later, James is going to finish his homework. Okay, everyone is following? Susan hasn't mastered Japanese, but she can communicate. Hindi pa, ibig sabihin ng sentence na to, hindi pa niya na-achieve yung advanced level as a Japanese speaker. Pero kaya na niyang makipag-usap using Japanese. Probably, she's in her intermediate level as a Japanese speaker. But she's still in the process of learning, enhancing her skills. So kaya mo yan, Susan. Okay? Susan hasn't mastered Japanese. Bill has still not arrived. So you're expecting Bill. We're expecting bills every month. My bill has not arrived, has still not arrived. The rain hasn't stopped. Okay. Present perfect can also be used in multiple actions at different times. Okay? Present perfect tense suggests the process is not complete and more actions are possible. Ibig sabihin nun, marami pang pwedeng mangyari. Hindi pa tapos. Okay? Kagaya ng IELTS mo. If ever man na hindi mo makuha ng first take, huwag naman sana. Yung gusto mong band score, hindi pa tapos ang laban. Pwede pa naman mag-retake, only retakes. Kaso lang syempre, hindi naman only yung pera natin. So, isip-isip. Only naman pala yung review, guys. So, 1 year validity yung review. Kung hindi mo pa siya nakukuha sa first take, okay lang yun. Not the end of the world. You're not the only one who experienced that. Tsaka huwag kayong masyadong masad pag may mga delays sa buhay. Because definitely, delays can be redirections. Right? Naalala ko tuloy yung recent news about Air India. Is the aircraft called Air? Yung airline pala. Air India ba or India Air? Ha? Anong Air Canada? Nasa ibang topic po kayo. India. Air India, right? So, there's a circulating story about a woman who missed her flight. Di siya nakasakay kasi na-late siya. So, di siya nakasama dun sa mga casualties. Pero naniniwala ba kayo dun sa nakasurvive? Parang sobrang imposible lang, no? So, kasi di ba, nung pagbagsak niya, it already exploded. So, anong ginawa niya? Paano siya nakaalis? Tumalon ba siya? If ever man tumalon siya, ang taas din ng building, right? Kasi yung mga nabagsakan din ng aircraft, namatay din. There were 33 casualties in the building? Ha? Pero ang issue daw kasi, he was sitting next to the emergency exit door. Tumalon, pero ang taas nga ng building eh. So kahit tumalon siya doon, buhay pa siya? I mean, it's so unthinkable. But if it's a true story, that's what you call a miracle, right? Hindi naman sa nagda-doubt ako that miracles can happen. It's just a little unthinkable if you take a look at it on a scientific point of view, right? So yeah, the process is not complete. I have had 4 quizzes and 5 tests so far this semester. So I have had 4 quizzes, meaning within the semester, siguro ang ibibigay ng professor niya ay 10 quizzes and 10 tests. Pero halos kalahati pa lang sila because 4 quizzes pa lang and 5 tests. Meaning the process is not complete. The semester has not ended. Got it? We have had many major problems while working on this project. It simply means that the project is not yet finished or completed. So far daw, sa ongoing project nila, nagkaroon sila ng maraming problema. So we have had many major problems. And last example, she has talked to several specialists about, specialists. She has talked to several specialists about her problem, but nobody knows why she is sick. All right? I hate it that in the Philippines, hindi pa normalize yung consultation sa mga specialists. Because in other countries, apparently that's already normal to join a program like a life coach. Because syempre, ibang generation na tayo ngayon, we're dealing with different mental issues. So I really think that we need to normalize the fact that some people really need help. And if that's you, it's okay if you ask for help. It's okay if you consult a specialist, right? It doesn't make you less of a person. In fact, saludo pa nga ako sa mga taong gustong harapin yung mga issues nila. Mentally or kung ano man yun, right? Hindi lang naman mentally. Meron din naman, let's say, it's a marriage issue, so you have to consult a marriage counselor, mga ganon. I feel like people who have the guts to harapin yung mga ganong issues nila sa buhay, I feel like those are the people who are aiming for a better outcome or better version of themselves, diba? So, sana ma-normalize na din yun sa bansa natin. Kasi, alam mo yung mga boomer, hindi naman sa ginajudge ko yung baby boomer generation, pero normally sila yung judgmental na tao. Diba? People, ay, may autism yung anak mo. I mean, that's really offensive. Because we should normalize the fact that, yes, there are people with autism. There are people with ADHD or global developmental delay. And that's okay. Nagkaroon ng problema sa genetics, so what? Yun yung challenge na binibigay ni Lord di ba? So, why are Filipinos so judgmental when it comes to those situations? Okay, but anyway, let's go back to our topic. Medyo late lang talaga ang Philippines pagdating sa sabay sa mga bagay-bagay. Alright. Multiple actions at different times. Yun, multiple actions such as have had many major problems, has talked to several specialists. Okay? So still we use the present perfect tense. And then when you're making sentence examples with present perfect tense, you can also associate them with time expressions. Again, time expressions are in the last year, in the last month, tonight, yesterday evening, or this week so far, this month, in the last week. Yan yung mga time expressions. Alright, when we use the present perfect, it means that something has happened at some point in our lives before now. Remember, the exact time the action happened is not important. So it doesn't matter daw kung kailan nangyari. What matters is that it happened sa isang punto ng buhay mo or natin. Okay? So, the given example is, have you been to Mexico in the last year? Again, the present perfect tense that is used here have. And then we have the past participle been. And time expression in the last year. So please make an example sentence using this rule. Time expressions with present perfect. I have seen that movie 6 times in the last month. Wala naman siyang sinabing specific days kung kailan niya pinanood yung movie na yun, but napanood niya yung movie 6 times. Ang dami naman yung pambayad sa sine. Kasi ginamit niya yung word na scene. Ibig sabihin, the person really watched the movie in cinemas, right? That's how much that person liked it. Okay, they have had 3 tests in the last week. So the time expression is in the last week. She graduated from university less than 3 years ago. Context lang to. Pero ito talaga yung sentence. She has worked for 3 different companies so far. Okay? So, sa buhay ng taong to, 3 iba't ibang companies na daw ang kanyang napasukan as of the very moment. Ako ba? Ilan? Let me count. 7. Dami. Okay. So, I think more than 7 pa nga. Just lost count already. Last example is, my car has broken down. Has, and then past participle, and then time expression. My car has broken down 3 times this week. Okay, have you written your sample sentences? I know it's getting harder as we progress to the next slides, but yes, I do hope that you're still writing down your sentences for retention purposes. Okay, so the next slide will talk about something that you can misuse. So we have the expression last year and in the last year. Magkaiba pala ang gamit nito. Okay? Why? Because when you say last year, it means the year before now. So kung 2025 ngayon, anong year last year? 2024. But when we say in the last year, it means 365 days ago until now. It is not considered a specific time, so it requires present perfect. So pag ginamit mo tong last year, simple past ang verb tense mo. And if you use in the last last year, you have to use present perfect. Okay? Example, I went to Mexico last year. Meaning, I went to Mexico in the calendar year before this one. So, I went to Mexico in 2024. Last year. Kasi 2025 na yun. Another example is, I have been to Mexico in the last year. So, you have to see na yung word na went, simple past to. Tapos yung have been naman is the present perfect tense. And then, ang gagamitin mong time expression is in the last year. I have been to Mexico at least once at some point between 365 days ago and now. So, pwedeng in the last year, since June na ngayon, pwedeng nung January siya nagpunta ng Mexico. Kasi pasok pa siya sa 365 days. Kasi June na ngayon, okay? So kahit na 2025 pa rin, pwede niyang gamitin yung expression na in the last year. Is it confusing?
Ayun pa.
Okay, let me try again. I went to Mexico last year. Hindi ito nangyari ngayong 2025. That's what's clear here. Last year siya nangyari. Somewhere in 2024. Okay? Pero pag ginamit mo yung expression na in the last year, ibig sabihin nun, at least once at some point between 365 days ago and now. Okay? Between 365 days ago and now. So ano bang yung 365 days ago? Di ba June 20, 2024? So, mula June 22 to 2024 hanggang June 20 to 2025, nag-Mexico siya. Okay, gets? Nakakadugo ng brain, no? Tara na, move on na tayo sa next. Okay, so this is the last slide for the present perfect. This is the last slide for present perfect. So, duration from the past until now. With non-continuous verbs and non-continuous uses of mixed verbs, we use the present perfect to show that something started in the past and has continued up until now. Okay? Expressions such as for 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, and since Tuesday are all durations which can be used with the present perfect. So, simple lang to. Ibig sabihin, nagsimula na siya in the past at kasalukuyan pa rin nagaganap. Okay? I have had a cold for 2 weeks. Ibig sabihin na to, yung cold ko, 2 weeks na siya. Okay? She has been in England for 6 months. Meaning, 6 months ago, June na ngayon, so January, nagpunta siya ng England at hanggang ngayon nandun pa siya. Okay? She has been in England for 6 months. Mary had a little lamb. Charot. Kanta pala yun. Nursery rhyme. Okay, so, Mary has loved chocolate since she was a little girl. Has loved, mahal pa rin niya. Uy, ano yun? Okay, has loved chocolate, meaning 6 little girl pa lang si Mary, mahilig na talaga sa chocolates. Hanggang ngayon. Kasi di ba sabi, show that something started in the past, nagsimula siya noong nakaraan, like in the past, and has continued up until now. So si Mary, ever since maliit pa daw siya, mahilig na siya sa chocolates hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Got it? Parang ano, wala na kayong hibo dyan. Parang nakakita na ako ng, alam mo yun, pag nahihilo yung itsura. Nakakita na ba kayo ng stars, guys? So, kumustahin naman natin ang mga nasa Zoom, yung participants sa Zoom. We have AD, Aryan, Jillian, Kurt. Huh? Ano yan? What? Can you say that again? I can't hear you. Wala siya dito eh. Yeah, because I don't know why. So, we also have Seth. Okay naman, are you guys okay there or are you guys sleeping? Hopefully you're not, okay? Is that what he said? Oh, wait. Teka lang. Ulitin mo yung sinabi mo at yung voice message ko sa kanya. It's look what he said. I'm traveling right now, so maybe my phone signal is slow. Sabi niya ganon. So, go. What's your name? What's your name? Ano pangalan mo? Clark? Okay. That's okay. All right, so let's move on. Is it clear? Now we're gonna move on to the present perfect continuous form. Ma'am, hindi ba tayo natatapos hanggang ngayon? Nasa present pa rin tayo. Actually, parang hindi na tayo dadating sa past. Sa past tsaka sa future. Oh my gosh. Ang haba kasi talaga nito, 65 slides, guys. Sige, bilisan na lang natin. 22. So the next one is the 23rd slide. Di naman natin tatapusin yung 65 slides because we're only going to continue. I mean, this meeting only lasts until 12? Something like that. All right, so we have the present perfect continuous form. So dadagdagan natin ng same lang, halos same siya sa present perfect. Ang kaibahan lang, meron siyang been. All right? So still we're gonna use has or have plus been plus present participle. When we say present participle, may ing. Okay? Yung past participle, yun yung may en. Broken, eaten, seen. Okay? Alam ko, sobrang nag-brain bleed na kayo, pero ganun talaga. Okay. So, you have been waiting here for 2 hours. Have been, and then the present participle waiting. Question 4, have you been waiting here for 2 hours? You have not been waiting here for 2 hours. OA lang. Mga 1 hour lang siya naghintay. Pero sabihin niya, 2 hours ako naghihintay. Ganon. Alright, so use number 1, duration from the past until now. Okay, we use the present perfect continuous to show that something started in the past and has continued up until now. For 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, and since Tuesday are all durations which can be used with the present perfect continuous. Pero ang pagkakaiba sa present perfect is that may ing na ang verbs. Okay? Alam ko, nalito kayo ng konti kasi nga very similar din siya dun sa isa. Pero dito, take note, may ing. They have been talking for the last hour. Hindi pa sila tapos mag-usap. They're still talking. Okay? She has been working at that company for 3 years. Ibig mong sabihin nun, nag-resign na siya? Sagot. No. The answer is no. Di ba siya nagre-resign? Kasi nga present perfect continuous eh. From the word itself, continuous. Meaning, hindi pa natatapos. What have you been doing for the last 30 minutes? And still doing up to now? For the last 30 minutes, I have been discussing about grammar 3 to my very studious students. Natawa kayo, parang hindi totoo eh. Okay, next. James has been teaching at the university since June. Meaning, isang taon na. Happy anniversary, James. Okay? So, wala naman sinabing date kung 2024 ba or 2023. Basta nung June nag-start siya. Maaring ngayong June lang din, di ba? So, ibig lang sabihin nun, hanggang ngayon, nagtuturo siya sa university as a professor. Okay? By the way, I have a special project this coming week. And I'm actually looking for a professional that I could interview. I mean, hindi ako yung mag-i-interview. Students come from South Korea. Kasi yung isang friend nag-back out kasi nagkaroon ng emergency. So, kung sino man sa Zoom ngayon na mga professional or yung mga nandito, you want to volunteer, yes, the interview is gonna be in English, but the interviewer is just a kid. So, pero magaling mag-English ah. Siyempre. So, kung gusto niyo mag-volunteer, let me know. Open ng slots. Gusto niyo ba? Ano yung work niyo po? Ano? What's that? Okay, okay. Yung tipong ano, no? Explain mo pa yung joke. Sorry, ganun talaga ako, guys. May nabasa ako. Yung mga taong hindi daw nakakaintindi ng mga jokes, high IQ daw yun. Charot! Joke lang. It depends on the joke pala. It depends on the joke. Alright. Pero may ganun ba profession? Like professional bouncer? Wala. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next use. Alright, so we also use the present perfect continuous when we're using the words recently and lately. So, it can be used without a duration. Kung sa unang discussion natin, it's used with a duration. This time, it's good news that present perfect continuous tense can be used without a duration, such as for 2 weeks, lately. So, pwede mong gamitin yung lately, recently. Okay? Recently, I have been feeling really tired. Ibig sabihin nun, nitong mga nakaraang araw, pagod ako lagi. Okay? Recently. She has been watching too much television lately. Okay? She has been watching too many Netflix series lately. Mga ganon. Have you been exercising lately? Question form. Again, we still have the helping verb have, and then we have been plus verb with ing. Have you been exercising lately? Mary has been feeling a little depressed. Lisa has not been practicing her English. What have you been doing? Okay, yan. Make a sentence using recently, lately, and of course, the present perfect continuous format, which is have, has, been, tapos verb with ing. Have you been practicing your IELTS interview lately? Kasi sabi, ang dami kong napapansin guys, walang masyadong umaattend ng coaching ha. Ikaw, Jower, ba't tinatanong mo kung kailan ako magko-coaching? Eh, pag nagko-coaching naman ako, ayaw mo umattend. Paki-explain. So, baka ngayon ka lang nag-feel confident. Am I right? Okay. But guys, don't wait for you to be confident because actually starting and joining the coaching sessions is what builds your confidence. So we have JV. Are you gonna have a coaching session? Ay, hindi ka napunta kahapon ba? Ha? Pero malapit na exam mo. Ang gusto mo lang talaga ako pa-coaching. End of July. Oh, okay. It's almost the end of June. Grabe ang bilis. No, ayaw pa. Okay, and then tama ba? Ha? Lee May? Yeah, do you want to also have a coaching session today? Why not? Kasi sabi ko lang, you will start feeling confident once you start the coaching. Kasi where are you gonna start? You're gonna start with day 1. You're gonna start with first session. Kasi paano mo ma-achieve yung 10th session kung yung first hirap kang simulan? Okay? So, I encourage you. Sayang naman yung biyahe mo, di ba? You're from Granera? Is that far? I'm not geographically inclined persons. Actually, I'm not good with directions also. 30 minutes away from here. Oh, it's just like Gapan City. 30 minutes away from here. Are you gonna have a coaching session? Okay, so we have 3 individuals already. And for those na nag-iisip-isip pa dyan, siguro hindi kayo nape-pressure sa time. Wala kayong like deadline na, ito yung kailangan kong ma-achieve na, like ito, kailangan ko na mag-exam sa date na to, ganun. Baka wala kayong iniisip na ganun. Kaya parang chill-chill lang, ganun. Nakapagpa-coaching ka? Kay Sir Kevin, how was it? Ganda siya eh. Relax, teka lang. Okay naman. Hindi ka naman sinungitan ni Sir Kevin. I wonder why. But I feel like I can sense why. Okay, so anyways, let's move on to the next slide. Finally, nasa past tense na tayo. Simple past form. Of course, as you know, the simple past form, you have to add an ed to the verb. Kasi nga past, di ba? Wag ang past at ang present, hindi pinagsasama, guys, ha? Magugulo ang present pag bumalik si past. Just kidding. Okay. So there. You just add an ed on regular verbs. Regular verbs such as call, walk, talk. Yung mga irregular verbs naman, eat. Kasi ang simple past nun is ate. Okay? Another irregular verb is sing. Kasi ang simple past niya ay sang. Right? Alam ko, irregular and regular verbs are a different topic. Pero I know, nakatago lang yan sa memory nyo. You just have to retrieve it. Okay? Basta, kapag nadadagdag ang ed, yun yung regular verbs. Pag hindi mo pwedeng i-add ang ed para gawing past tense at kailangan mong baguhin yung spelling, yun yung irregular verbs. Okay? So, you called Debbie. Did you call Debbie? Pag tanong na siya, hindi mo na siya lalagyan ng ed kasi ito na. Yung word na did is an indication that it's in simple past. You got it? Hindi mo pwedeng i-double past, ha? Hindi pwedeng, did you call Debbie? Hindi pwedeng ganon. Isa-isa lang. Did you call Debbie? You did not call Debbie. All right. Use one. Completed action in the past. So, ginagamit natin ang simple past when we're expressing actions that have been completed. Ganun lang kasimple. Kaya nga simple past eh. Di ba? Alright. Sometimes a speaker may not actually mention the specific time, but they do have one specific time in mind. So, pwede raw hindi na-mention yung specific time in the past, pero naka-imply yung message. Pag sinabi natin naka-imply, ibig sabihin nun, gets mo na dapat yun. Implied siya. Alright? Nasa konteksto ng sentence siya. I saw a movie yesterday. I didn't see a play yesterday. So, eto kung mapapansin nyo, hindi to naka-past tense yung see kasi ginamit na siya dito sa didn't. I didn't see a play yesterday. Kagaya lang siya ng example dito. You did not call Debbie. Hindi pwedeng you did not call Debbie. Okay? That's totally wrong. Should not be practiced at all. Last year, I traveled to Japan. Last year, I didn't travel to Japan. Pwede din namang last year, I did travel to Korea. Okay? Didn't, did. Basta huwag lalagyan ng ed. So, paano naman kapag irregular verb? Okay. Cut. Let's use the verb cut. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin cutted. Okay? Walang ganon. So, I did cut the cake. I did cut the cake. I didn't cut the cake. Okay? I did eat the pizza. I didn't eat the pizza. So, irregular verb yun kasi pag sinabi kong I ate the pizza, binago ko yung spelling, di ba? Ibang-iba na siya. Alright. Did you have dinner last night? No, I'm fasting. Did you have dinner last night? So, nakadepende kung gagamitin mo have or has sa subject. Did they have? Did we have? Did Sarah have? Oh, no. Okay. Have ang gagamitin mo basta may kasamang did. Okay? She washed her car. Yan. He didn't wash his car. All these examples are completed actions in the past. Now, you can also use the simple past when you are expressing a series of completed actions. These actions happen first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So, pag marami kang gustong sabihin sa isang sentence, a series of completed actions, you also have to use the simple past at kailangan parallel ang verbs na gagamitin mo. Meaning, hindi pwedeng kapag sinabi mong I finished work, I walked to the beach, and I was looking for a nice place to swim. Hindi pwedeng ganun, okay? So, dapat parallel. I finished work, walked to the beach, and found a nice place to swim. Meaning, it all happened in the past. Another series of events is he arrived from the airport at 8, checked into the hotel at 9, and met the others at 10. Arrived, checked, met, all in simple past. Did you add flour, pour in the milk, and then add the eggs? Kung mapapansin nyo, hindi yan naka-simple past tense. Kasi nga, meron na tayong did. Hindi pwedeng did you added flour, poured in the milk, and then added the eggs. Hindi pwedeng ganon kasi meron na tayong naka-past tense na yung verb na did. Okay? That's how you make a simple past tense question.
I'd say regular verb and playing instead.
Did you, okay, sabihin natin, irregular verb na eat. Okay, tsaka see or saw. See, saw, seen. Okay, did you eat pizza? Did you see a movie? Oo, applicable din siya sa irregular. Kailangan naka-normal form yung verb. Kasi, hindi pwedeng dalawa silang naka-past tense. Redundant na yon, okay? Did you eat pizza? Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie that was showing last night? Ganun. All right. Use number 3, duration in the past. The simple past can be used with a duration which starts and stops in the past. So, ibig sabihin nun, lahat nangyari na. Okay? It started and it stopped in the past. Hindi na siya ongoing kagaya ni present continuous. Okay? Nangyari na siya, nakaraan na siya, tapos na. Okay? Yun yung gusto nating inaasam-asam nating lahat. Tapos na ako sa exam. Naipasa ko na. Right? Alright. I lived in Brazil for 2 years. So, hindi siya katulad ng I've been living in Brazil for 2 years. Magkaiba siya pag sinabi kong I lived in Brazil for 2 years. Kasi dito sa example na to, hindi na ako nakatira sa Brazil. Pero pag sinabi kong I have been living in Brazil for 2 years, ibig sabihin 2 years ago, I moved to Brazil and I am still living in Brazil. But in the simple past tense, hindi na nga. Nainis. Okay. I lived in Brazil for 2 years. Wala na ako dun ngayon. Nasa Iran na ako. Charot! Of all places talaga, Iran. Bakit naman ganon? Pero I really feel empathetic towards. My heart goes to everyone in Israel and Iran and in any place that there's war right now. I hope that everyone is safe and wala nang nadadamay pang mga inosenteng tao. Pero ganun talaga eh. Because war is war. Na-stress ako bigla. Okay, let's not talk about that. Shauna, is it Shauna or Shauna? Kaiba naman yung name niya. Shauna studied Japanese for 5 years. Hindi na siya nag-aaral ngayon, tapos na siya, na-master na niya. Done deal. They sat at the beach all day. It simply means, tapos na yung action, probably all day, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 10 p.m. na ngayon, nasa past na siya. Okay? They did not stay at the party the entire time. We talked on the phone for 30 minutes. How long did you wait for them? Again, did. So, normal lang yung verb natin na wait. We waited for 1 hour. Okay? And then we have use number 4. We use the simple past when we are talking about habits in the past. Meaning, Hindi mo na to habit ngayon. Habit is something that you do on a regular. So, if habits in the past, dati mo siyang gawain, pero hindi mo na siya gawain ngayon. Okay? It is used to describe a habit which stopped in the past. It can have the same meaning as used to. To make it clear that we are talking about a habit, we often add expressions such as always, often, usually, never, when I was a child, when I was younger. But you have to make sure that you clarify the fact na yung habit na yon, hindi mo na habit. Yung habit mo noon, hindi mo na habit ngayon. Okay? For example, I studied French when I was a child. So, 35 ka na ngayon, hindi ka na nag-aaral ng French. That's simple. Ano pa ba yung ibang habits? Smoking. I smoked cigarettes in high school. Example lang yun, di yung totoo ah. Napaka-defensive eh. Alright. Another habit is probably I joined speech competitions in college. Habit ko yun noon. Hindi na ngayon. Alright. Did you read books to your kids when they were young? Did you read books to your kids when they were young? So that's a sample of a simple past sentence. Question, okay? What else? Did you sing lullabies to your baby when she was a newborn? Ayun, did you sing? Yung regular form pa rin niya ginamit natin because we use the word did, which indicates that it's in the past. Did you sing lullabies? Okay, I guess you understood this, right? She worked at the movie theater after school. She never went to school. They always skipped class. Oh, sino yung mga nakarelate dyan? Yung mga mahilig mag-cutting. But you know what? I actually think that totoo yung sinabi ng isang teacher ko na yung mga students pa na parang bulakbol ng high school or ng elementary, they are more likely to succeed in the future. Oh, totoo. Like, tables can turn. I'm not saying naman na yung mga honor students at saka yung mga highly intellectual top students sa klase eh hindi magiging successful. But mas malaki yung, mas mataas yung grit at determination ng mga medyo saktuhan lang or bulakbol nung kabataan nila. Ano yan? Ano yan? Ba't di nakakarating dito? Just kidding. Okay. And use number 5, past facts or generalizations. It is used to describe past facts or generalizations which are no longer true. She was shy as a child, but now she is very outgoing. So, definitely, when we use the verb was, simple past yan. He didn't like tomatoes before. Or pwede mo naman baguhin, he didn't like tomatoes as a child. But that particular fact has changed. Okay? Did you live in Texas when you were a kid? People paid much more to make cell phone calls in the past. That's true. Nowadays, you don't even need to pay to make calls because once you're connected to the internet, you can make a call, right? Sino ba ngayon tumatawag pa rin using phones? Well, some jobs need that, but other jobs don't really need it. Because even if you're ordering food from delivery, like Food Panda, you can actually message using the app, right? Hindi naman na kailangan ng text or call kay rider. Depende na lang talaga if let's say wala siyang data or mahina yung signal ng Wi-Fi, then you can resort to making a cell phone call. Landline calls. Do you still make landline calls? Parang hindi na, no? Okay. I'm so blessed that I've been through all the generations. Kasi nung panahon namin, uso pa yung letter writing, uso pa yung phone calls. I've experienced all that. Fax. Alam niyo ba yung fax? Or hindi na? Yun, ngayon kasi, scan mo lang yung documents, you can already email it. Attach it, email it. Pero dati kasi fax yung tawag. Yung tipong kailangan ng fax machine. Tapos kung ano yung document mo, iko-copy niya sa machine na nasa ibang bansa. So, matatanggap niya yung exact document. Pero ngayon, hindi na. You don't need to pay for that anymore. Yung mga tao sa likod, alam niyo yung fax, di ba? Yung mga nandito sa harapan, parang hindi alam yung fax. F-A-X. Yun yung alam yun? Go, JV, alam mo yun? Ah, she's just nonchalant para kunwari, ay, hindi ang part ng generation you guys. Okay. So, it will get a little bit complicated, but yeah, let's discuss it. I thought somebody called me. Important when clauses happen first. So, pag sinabi natin clause, it's a group of words that don't have a complete idea. So, pwede rin namang may complete idea kasi kung independent clause siya, ibig sabihin nun, pwede siyang dugtungan ng dependent clause. Yung dependent clause, yun yung mga clauses na walang buong idea. Okay? Let me give an example. When I paid her $1, ito, dependent clause siya. Kasi the thought is not finished. Okay, when I paid her $1, so what? She answered my question. Mukha pala siyang pera, no? Okay, when I paid her $1, she answered my question. Pero if she answered my question, yun lang yung sentence. That's an example of an independent clause. Kasi buo yung thought, buo yung idea. She answered my question. We have a subject, she, verb, answered. She answered my question. Sinagot niya yung tanong ko. But if I just say when I paid her $1, because of the word when, it becomes a dependent clause. Kasi nga, indicator to na may kadugtong pa. Okay? So, gagamitin mo rin yung simple past. So, yung second example is, she answered my question when I paid her $1. Ang kaibahan naman nito, nag-switch lang yung dalawang clauses. At mas madali itong second example kasi wala ng comma. At alam ko namang litong-lito kayong lahat pag may comma or ano. So, kung ako sa inyo, huwag nyo na itong i-attempt. Dito na lang kayo sa pangalawa para less mistakes, di ba? And less point deductions sa writing. She answered my question when I paid her $1. Okay. Past continuous form. This time, we're not going to use has or have or be verbs am, is, are. We're going to use was, were. Okay? Plus present participle. Again, present participle, Yan yung studying. Yung may ing. Okay? You were studying when she called. Were you studying when she called? You were not studying when she called. Okay. Interrupted action in the past. So, ginagamit daw ang past continuous tense when an action in the past ay naantala or na-interrupt. Okay? Indicates that a longer action in the past was interrupted. The interruption is usually a shorter action in the simple past. Remember, this can be a real interruption or just an interruption in time. Okay, intindihin natin mabuti. I was watching TV when she called. Past continuous. Was plus present participle, watching. May ing, but present participle, okay? I was watching TV when she called. Ibig sabihin, nanonood ako ng TV nung tumawag siya. Na-interrupt yung panonood ko ng TV dahil tumawag siya. Okay? But this particular incident happened in the past continuous tense. Okay? When the phone rang, she was writing a letter. Ibig lang sabihin nun, nung may tumawag, nagsusulat siya ng letter. Past continuous. Okay? We're using the past continuous when you're talking about two things that happened in the past. Okay? Simultaneously. Gets nyo yung simultaneously? Sabay nangyari. Kasi, umuulan nung nagpipiknik sila. Yung ganun lang siya kasimple sa Tagalog, no? When it's complicated when you write it in English, past continuous. But hopefully, practice making sentences. Try nyo lang. Basta may word na when. Or while. Because those two words indicate that actions are done simultaneously in the past. So while Ma'am Shannon was having her lecture, the students behind were chit-chatting. Okay? Ano pa ba? I was discussing grammar 3 while Sir Flower is arranging the testing center. Okay? May inaayos-ayos sila doon kasi may exam tomorrow. May mga mag-exam ba dito bukas? Wala pa naman. Ay, wala. Okay, so I think yung mga mag-exam tomorrow ay outsiders. Like, hindi sila dito nag-review or baka hindi sila talaga nag-review, which is such a bad call. Kasi I don't suggest it at all. So there. Two things that are happening in the past. An interruption. Okay, that's when you use the past continuous. Another use of past continuous is when there is a specific time as an interruption. So, meron na tayong naka-indicate na oras dito. Yun lang yung pagkakaiba. Last night at 6 p.m., I was eating dinner. Hindi pwedeng I ate dinner, ha? Kasi nga, ang ginagamit natin ngayon, past continuous. And it cannot be past continuous kung walang ing. Alright? So, gagamitan mo siya lagi ng was or were. At midnight, we were still driving through the desert. Tapos may nakasalubong ng serial killer. Me and my intrusive thoughts. Okay. Yesterday at this time, I was sitting at my desk at work. Kung mapapansin nyo, all the given examples have specific time in the past. Last night at 6 p.m., at midnight, yesterday at this time. Okay? It's very important for you to know in the simple past, a specific time is used to show when an action began or finished. But in the past continuous tense, a specific time only interrupts the action. So sa simple past daw, tapos na, nangyari na. However, sa past continuous, na-interrupt lang yung action. Okay? Last night at 6 p.m., I ate dinner. Ito yung sinasabi natin, simple past. But over here, we're using the past continuous. Last night at 6 p.m., I was eating dinner. So I started earlier, and at 6 p.m., I was in the process of eating dinner. Dito naman sa first example, nagsimula daw siyang kumain ng dinner at 6 p.m. All right. I think this is gonna be the last slide. Hindi man lang tayo nakakalahati, guys. 37. This is the 37th slide. And wait lang. Hold 2:15 to 3:15, tapos 3:15 to 3:45. So, makakaalis ako dito ng... Naku, traffic kaya yun. My gosh, pero okay lang naman. Alright, so, parallel actions. When we say parallel actions, ito yung sinasabi ko na kapag gumamit ka ng two specific verbs in two or more verbs in a sentence, you have to make sure that they are in parallel form. Kung ginamitan mo siya ng ing, kailangan tuloy-tuloy na ing. Alright? Last weekend, I had a very busy schedule. I went shopping. I went shopping, kayaking, traveling, and hiking. So kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ng verbs may ing. Okay? When you use the past continuous with two actions in the same sentence, it expresses the idea that both actions were happening at the same time. I was studying while he was making dinner. So, naalala nyo nung diniscuss natin yung sentence, yung word na while, never start a sentence with a while kung wala siyang kasunod na independent clause. Or else, it becomes a fragment. Okay? So, in this case, you can also put it in the middle. Unahin mo muna yung independent clause, I was studying, and then, while he was making dinner. Okay? So, again, it falls under the category of past continuous because the action was simultaneous. Were you listening while he was talking? So, dahil sa verbs na were tsaka was, past siya. Hindi siya present continuous. Kasi kung present continuous yan, are you listening while I am talking? Or he is talking? Yun yung present continuous. Pero since ginamitan natin siya ng were tsaka was, past continuous siya. Okay? Is it clear? Great. So, For the Zoom participants who actively participated, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm gonna see you guys here next week if you come by and if you attend the face-to-face classes. I'll be ending this lecture and I'll just upload a recording today, within the day. Bye and enjoy your weekend. Pero if free kayo tomorrow, guys, please do attend the live lecture. Sir Kevin is gonna be here. For those of you who have not met him yet, that's your opportunity. And pwede din kayo magpa-check ng writing. So, go ahead. Punta kayo here. Okay? See ya!